I was standing on the balcony of a five-star resort overlooking the harbor of Monaco, holding a crystal glass of sparkling water when my phone buzzed. It was an encrypted, unlisted number. The text read, "Get out of the suit now. They tracked your signature code. If you sign the asset merger tonight, they legally own you." My hands turned to ice just inside the glass doors, sitting at a beautiful candlelight room service table. My parents and my brother were pouring champagne. They had spent the last 2 hours lovingly pursuing me to sign a family estate reconstructing document. I had no idea that the crisp, heavy paper on that table was an elegant trap designed to strip me of a $95 million teach empire. Or that by midnight I would be slipping past hotel security like a thief in the night, running from the very people who gave me life, but to understand how my own blood turned into my worst enemies. We have to look back to the rainy night. They threw me out on the pavement like a piece of broken furniture. For 2 years, I was the invisible spine keeping my family afloat. When my father's real estate firm collapsed into debt, I didn't hesitate. I paid off their mounting credit cards, funded my younger brother's expensive private college tuition, and paid the heavy mortgage on their stubborn home. I was pulling 20 hours days building my own independent software development firm, literally burning my health to the ground so they could live in luxury. They came the night the world collapsed. A rogue code development from a rogue employee corrupted our main server, causing us to lose our primary government contract. In a single afternoon, my business was pushed to the brink of bankruptcy. I was devastated, exhausted, and bleeding money. When I walked into my parents' living room looking for comfort, I found my courtroom instead. My brother didn't ask if I was okay. He demanded to know how he was going to pay for his upcoming study abroad trip to Europe. My mother immediately took his side, loudly complaining that my selfish business failures were going to ruin the family's social standing. But it was my father who broke me. He didn't offer a dime to help. Instead, he walked into the hallway with three black trash bags, threw my clothes inside, and dragged them out to the driveway. Right there under the street lights, with the next door neighbors watching from their porch, my father pointed at the street and said, "Your brother has a real future to think about. It was, if you can't fund this house anymore, you are just dragging us down. Find somewhere else to sleep." They thought they had broken me. They thought I was going to spend the night shivering in the back of my car, ruined and begging for forgiveness. Why my mother, my father, and my golden child brother didn't know was that I had been playing a much bigger game. 2 hours down the coast, hidden behind high stone walls and overlooking a private rocky cliffside beach, sat a legendary historic estate. The very estate my grandfather had built, which my father had foolishly lost to a shady bank foreclosure when I was just 8 years old. They thought I was homeless. They had absolutely no clue that 3 months prior I had quietly bought that entire multi-million-dollar estate back under a private holding company name, and they had no idea that their cruel rejection had just unlocked a 22 years old family secret that would put a $95 million target on my back. When my family spent the next year and a half telling our entire hometown that I was a deadbeat child who abandoned them, I moved into a cliffside estate in completely secrecy. Freed from the massive financial drain of my family's greedy lifestyle, I was restructured my tech firm. Within 12 months, we didn't just recover, we invented a proprietary data encryption protocol that caught the attention of a major Silicon Valley conglomerate. They offered a buyout package worth $95 million. I kept my name entirely off the press releases, operating through a blind trust. I didn't buy the sports cars, I didn't post on social media. When you are planning the ultimate response, silence is your sharpest weapon. But then the past came knocking on my door. Out of nowhere, my mother called me. Her voice wasn't cold like the night she watched my father throw my clothes in the rain. It was dripping with fake surgery warmth. "Darling," she wept over the phone, "we have been sick with worry. We were so wrong about that night. Your father has been crying himself to sleep. We want to fix our family. We booked a beautiful family suite in Monaco for a reunion. Please let us fly you out. Let us show you how much we love you." It was too perfect, the smell of desperation. But I knew that if you want to see a snake reveal its true colors, you have to create the perfect environment for it to strike. I accepted the invitation and flew to Monaco. The reunion at the five-star resort was a masterclass in acting. My father hugged me tightly. My brother bought me a luxury watch. My mother kept pouring drinks, telling me how proud she was. But as the clock neared 11 p.m., the atmosphere shifted. My father pulled a thick leather bound portfolio from his briefcase. He slid a document across the table, his eyes locked onto mine. Just a formality to merge our old family assets and protect you from future business risks, he said smoothly, handing me a heavy
I
gold
lowered
pen.
the pen
Sign
to the
this,
paper,
and
but
we
before
are
the
a whole
metal
family
touched the
again.
line,
My phone buzzed in my lap with that anonymous text: "Get out of the suit now. If you sign, they own you." I looked up at my family, smiled politely, and excused myself to the balcony to answer the call. The voice on the other end made my blood run completely cold. The person on the phone was my grandfather's former corporate attorney, a man my parents told me had passed away years ago. "Your grandfather never lost that cliffside estate to a bank foreclosure," the attorney revealed, his voice shaking. He left entirely to you in a private ironclad trust fund that matured the moment you turned 30. 22 years. Your parents discovered the trust, forged your childhood signature, and liquidated the estate's liquid assets, leaving the property to rot while they hid the money in an offshore account. The puzzle pieces instantly smashed together in my mind. The attorney continued: "They found out you bought the estate back, and worse, they discovered your blind trust is about to finalize a $95 million buyout. That document on the table tonight. It's a retroactive validation clause. If you sign it, you are legally forgiving them for the childhood fraud, handing over 90% of your tech firm to your brother, and taking on all of your father's current real estate debts." They hadn't invited me to Monaco out of guilt. They had tracked my hidden wealth, realized I was worth millions, and lured me to a foreign country to legally rob me of everything I had built. I stood on that balcony, looking at my family through the glass window. They were smiling, checking their watches, waiting for the prey to walk back inside and sign away his life. The sadness I had carried for 18 months instantly evaporated, replaced by a cold mathematical rage. I didn't go backside, I didn't scream, I didn't give them the satisfaction of a scene. Instead, I walked down the resort side stairwell, ordered a private vehicle directly to the airport, and boarded a private charter flight back home. My midnight while my family was frantically searching the resort corridors, wondering why I had vanished from the balcony. I was 30,000 feet in the air. I wasn't running away to hide. I was flying back to set up the ultimate trap. The next morning, my phone exploded with furious, panicked text messages from my father, accusing me of ruining the family vacation, calling me mentally unstable. I replied with a single message: "The Monaco internet was bad. I flew back to the old family estate. Come here tonight at 8 p.m. and I will sign whatever you want." They thought they had won. They thought I was surrendering. They had absolutely no idea that I had spent the last 12 hours inviting every major real estate investor, the local press, and the Federal Fraud Commission to my house for an unforgettable evening. At exactly 8 p.m., my parents and my brother pulled up the long driveway of the cliffside estate. They looked up the jaw dropping, lit up mansion, their faces twisted with pure arrogance and greed. They truly believed this house and my $95 million was about to be theirs. They pushed open the grand double doors, ready to put me in my place. But as they stepped into the massive two-story living room, the smirks froze on their faces. The room was filled with over 30 people. They very high society investors my father had been trying to impress for decades, the local city council members, and two federal financial investigators holding official briefcases. I stood at the top of the marble staircase, looking down at them. "Welcome," I said, my voice echoing clearly through the microphone system. "I would like to introduce everyone to my parents, the people who threw me out in the rain 18 months ago because I had a minor business setback, the people who told all of you that I was failed, ungrateful child." My mother's face went entirely pale. My father tried to step forward, his voice a frantic whisper. Stop this madness right now. This is a private family matter. There are no secrets left, Dad, I said, walking down the stairs. This is the estate you illegally stole from my grandfather's trust 22 years ago. And yesterday, you tried to trick me into signing a document in Monaco to steal my $95 million acquisition deal. A wave of shocked murmurs erupted through the crowd. Camera flashes from the local press began to light up the room. I gestured to the federal investigators. The forensic audit of the offshore accounts is complete. You have exactly 60 seconds to sign this confession and relinquishment deed, or authorities waiting at the gate will step inside. Shaking completely, stripped on their dignity, and facing absolute social and financial ruin in front of the most influential people in the city, my father took the pen. With trembling hands, he signed the legal document that completely barred them forever contacting me, my company, or my property again. They walked out of that house with absolutely nothing left, their reputations permanently destroyed, their finances ruined, and their names blacklisted from every social circle. They pushed me out when they thought I had nothing, never realizing that my silence was protecting them from their own past. Dignity isn't about winning a screaming match, it's about staying calm. Building your fortress in silence and letting the truth stand up in a room full of witnesses. If your own family did something like this to you, would you have exposed them publicly, or would you have just disappeared and cut them off quietly? Let me know your thoughts in a comment below. If you loved the story of silent justice, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our next dramatic narrative. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.